Today we have something very unusual inside this box. It is one of the few Apple products that was canceled before it ever hit the market. The most mysterious of all of the Apple products. If you can even find the prototype, it's gonna run you 20 grand. I don't know. This, of course, is a legitimate working prototype of Apple's most ambitious AirPower that you may remember from years ago.
It's a mat that you place your iPhone 8 or iPhone 10 down, and it just starts to charge. It doesn't stop there. You can place your Series 3 Apple Watch down on it, and it starts to charge as well.
What?
You can place your AirPods with the optional new wireless charging case on it, and it starts to charge as well. They all charge.
I have a whole list of instructions as far as what I can and can't do with it. All I know at this point is I have a working prototype of one of the rarest, most exclusive Apple products ever. It has to be one of the most collectible items of Apple memorabilia. It's also taped in a strange way. It was gonna charge all your Apple devices on one tiny little pad without the need for alignment using a huge series of coils. This prototype took it all the way up to 22 coils, meaning that no matter where you placed your device, whether it was an iPhone, AirPods, or even an Apple Watch, it would be capable of wireless charging. I guess these packing peanuts are all coming out, or at least a lot of them. Now, it is very rare that Apple announces a product, as they did in this case, at a keynote and then doesn't deliver it. It almost never happens. In fact, the last time it happened before AirPower is around the time I was born. I'm gonna treat this very sensitively, considering how rare it is and how few of them are in existence. Are you not riveted by the fact that we've uncovered the treasure of Apple collecting and collectors? See, I think Apple had a really high standard for what they were hoping to achieve. They were up against some pretty strict parameters when it came to the thinness, the types of devices they wanted to charge, the heat being generated by this variety of coils, charging multiple devices in a very small little piece of real estate. And there it is, the most mysterious of Apple devices never to be released. AirPower. Now, obviously, this is a prototype. It would not have looked like this. Instead, it would have been covered in your typical Apple rubbery, plasticky substance, likely in white, and it would be a soft touch material. You can catch some of the indentations of the various coils which live underneath this cover. This whole thing started to leak out via China, where these devices were being tested and then later recycled or ending up in waste facilities for e-waste. Content creator there got a hold of it, tore this thing open, examined the number of coils. I've been told that this version prototype in front of me is 22 total coils which are stacked. And this is what would enable you to place a device, some AirPods, an iPhone. The original AirPower promised to charge an iPhone, an Apple Watch, and some AirPods on one singular pad. That's a fairly tight region in order to accomplish that. Could it have been larger? Possibly, but then you would have had to extend the number of coils further, and the cost would have gone up as well. The feeling is that the cost for this would have been more than people would have been willing to accept for a wireless charger. Could have retailed for somewhere between $200 and $300 for a charger that may have been a little too much. So when you combine those issues with heat alongside the component costs, Apple just decided to bail out and leave this project to third-party companies. There was a company called Zenz. It's a glass top, bunch of coils. Does work, but it's a lot larger than this, which is probably because they also had their own heat issues. There was a product called Air Unleashed, but never with this number of coils. Then you are still back to doing your typical wireless charging thing of attempting to find and line up those coils. And then also you still have the Apple Watch, which would require some specialized indentation in most cases. And that wasn't gonna be necessary on Apple's solution, at least the way it was shown off during the initial keynote. All right, now in order to use this device, I've been given a set of instructions. It's very dramatic. One and only one specific coil. I've been told it's in this region over here in the bottom right corner. Please do not leave the AirPower plugged in for an extended period of time. 1 minute at maximum with 5 minutes to cool down to prevent damage. Oof. If that doesn't sound like a collector's item, I don't know what does, but I will respect that, seeing as how These are extremely rare, and I don't want to damage it either. There's just not too many examples of canceled Apple products manifested in reality. Apple just never fails. This product is a fail. I mean, I don't know what they learned. You always learn something when you head down a path attempting to engineer an ambitious product. So in that sense, you never truly fail. There's just so few examples of Apple products that have made it this far, this close to production, made it into a keynote, and then never made it into consumer hands. This is one of the only products of modern Apple that has met this fate. To power on the AirPower, use a MacBook Pro USB-C port with a genuine Apple Lightning to USB-C cable, and do not use a high voltage power brick to prevent potential damage. Do not touch the back of the AirPower with the electronics exposed. I accidentally did and got a bad electric shock. These are the words of Apple Demo on YouTube, by the way. Therefore, I won't do that. I have a genuine USB-C to Lightning cable, which I will be plugging into this MacBook as suggested. Countdown now. I'm gonna place this into the bottom corner here. Ooh, that wasn't hard at all. Started charging right away, and it stayed charging. It is not flicking off like some of the examples I've seen in the past, and I'm not gonna leave it on there for too much longer. And I'm gonna unplug it, because I'm terrified. I don't even have any heat on it yet. I know we're all terrified of heat, and especially with a charger. Where are you gonna place this thing? Besides your bed? It's terrifying. I got 22 coils on the nightstand. And let me tell you something, if Apple's worried about heat, I'm worried about heat. Okay, I'm gonna plug it back in real quick, and let's go for the AirPods. And it flashed for a split second, even with the case on. Flashed again. There, charging. This is the most functional version unplugging of AirPower that I have personally seen, let alone held. The vision of this product was that I could have this variety of things charging simultaneously, plus my watch. The watch would have to have a different type of strap too. You know what I mean? You'd have to have the flat strap. That's another downside of the AirPower solution versus what you're seeing now from companies like Anker. You have a separate section for the Apple Watch. It can clip around the loop without the need to take off the strap, and it kind of holds the watch in an upright position using a more typical watch style connector that Apple already sells, and then having a separate section for the wireless charging of your phone and your AirPod. Apple has obviously put their own variety on the back burner. I still feel there's probably a way to make something like this. In the science fiction future, I think we all imagine an opportunity to charge things on huge surfaces. Simply place your devices on a tabletop and they happen to be charging. That is something we'd all love to see. Back in 2017, this was just not a possibility. This many coils, this tightly packed, this many devices, and this amount of heat. It is still a beautiful thing to look at. Grants you some insight into Apple's engineering prowess. You see how beautiful a device like this looks. This strong frame around this variety of transistors and resistors, beautifully placed like a little civilization of electronics. Even this product was taken very seriously, and even though this is a prototype, it looks like it was getting close to completion. I can't help but wonder when they hit that critical point that caused them to put it down completely, as they imagined some PR disaster in which these things were exploding or catching fire next to people's beds. It must have happened with a prototype. There must have been concern. I think even at $200+, this thing would have sold well, because so many customers in the Apple universe were desperate for wireless chargers at a point where the iPhone, in the form of the iPhone X, had recently adopted wireless charging. Anyway, there you have it. That's my best look yet at one of Apple's rarest, if not the rarest Apple product, the Apple AirPower. So it's all right that Apple couldn't execute with the AirPower, because we have a lot of other solutions on the market, including stuff from our sponsor, Anker, such as this 4-in-1 charge station, which is one of many ways in which you can charge multiple devices using Anker products. In fact, as far as charging stations go, this is one of 3. This is the 544 wireless charger. They also make the 533 magnetic, and the 533 wireless. If you want sort of the maximum power and maximum number of device charging potential, then this 4-in-1 is a good solution because it also has a USB-C port on the back of it capable of charging an iPad alongside your other devices. This is the most expensive of the bunch, but it's also the most capable. Certified for 15-watt wireless charging over the Qi wireless standard. Whether you're going with this product or any of Anker's other charging products, Anker offers ideal solutions across the board, including their tiny little nano power brick, which to me is superior to all the power bricks that Apple offers themselves. Here is the charge station. This one has a built-in puck section for the Apple Watch. It provides a lightning port for your AirPods. This is the key with this charge station though. Giant power brick, 60 watts, fold down prongs, and then the ability to charge all your different devices. This Type-C port on the back, others may not have this. Others may not have a power brick powerful enough to feed power to this variety of devices and still have something left over for an extra Type-C coming out of the back. iPhone, perfect. Watch, this is the Ultra. Boom. Ultra fits in there perfectly fine. AirPods, that just clips in, orange light lights up, and we're good to go. It has a little springiness to it as well. So it's not rigid, you're not worried about breaking it off, and then you just lift up and you're ready to go. It's 1111, by the way, that's pretty cool. Whether you're in the market for a charge stand or just a little charge brick, you already know Anker has a solution for you. Thanks again to Anker.